Hello everybody, Interior back again with another video. Alright guys, it is quarter-final time at French Open 2023. We had 128 players when this tournament started 8-9 days ago. Now we have only 8 left man standing. And this video is about to preview the quarter-final matches. Even though that some of these matches I've already talked about when I did my my top 8 favorite list, because 2 of the matches I have actually nailed that they will face each other, so you know who I will pick there. But anyway, for sake of fun, I will do a video and talk about all the 4 matches and all of these 4 matchups that we have ahead of us. So, when I did my top 8 favorite list and I mentioned my quarterfinal candidates, because obviously the 8 players that I believe will be the most dangerous players and one of the players that will win, of my 8 players that I've mentioned when I did my video 10 days ago, 5 of those players are actually in the quarterfinal stages. So it is only 3 players that I failed to have on this quarterfinal stage, and those 3 players are Daniil Medvedev, who crashed in the first round, Jannik Sinner, who crashed in the second round, and Andrei Rublev, who I believe crashed in the third round, if I'm not mistaken. Andrei Rublev, I believe he crashed in the third round. Second or third round, Andrei Rublev lost. I believe second round, maybe second or third round, something like that. Rublev lost. So these are the 3 players that didn't go to quarterfinals. All the other 5 players are in the quarterfinals, and those 5 players are Djokovic, Tsitsipas, Alcaraz, Ruud, and Rune. Alright guys, without any further ado, let's get into this video and talk about quarterfinal matches. The first up is like the schedule. First up is tomorrow between Djokovic and Khachanov, and I will talk about that first because that match is first. The head-to-head is 8-1 to Novak Djokovic. Khachanov has defeated Djokovic only once, and that was 5 years ago in Paris Masters final. So after that, Djokovic has, I believe, 7 straight consecutive wins against Khachanov. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he has 7 straight consecutive wins. Djokovic, who has not lost one single set in the tournament, so he has looked pretty solid, especially his last match in the 4th round, where he was more or less flawless. The first 3 rounds he was up and down, according to me, but his last match in the 4th round, Djokovic was flawless there. He did 15 more winners than unforced errors. Khachanov, on the other hand, he has also looked pretty solid. He has actually, this is Karakhashanov's 3rd straight quarterfinal appearance in a Grand Slam. He was in the quarterfinal at US Open, like we all remember. He was even better than that. He was in the semifinal in US Open last year. He was in the quarterfinal at Australian Open earlier this year. Khachanov, and now he's making his 3rd quarterfinal stage and his 3rd consecutive quarterfinal appearance in Grand Slams. US Open, Australian Open, and French Open. US Open, he was even better in the quarterfinal. He was in semifinal last year. So he's progressing. He's showing consistency. Will he have something to? Will he bother Djokovic? The head-to-head is for sure not saying that he will do. The head-to-head does show something. It doesn't show everything, but it does show that what kind of a match we most likely see tomorrow. Number doesn't lie. So Djokovic, Karakhanov, he has a big forehand, but his backhand is not big. It is okay, but it is not big. I believe Djokovic will penetrate Karakhanov's backhand. I believe Djokovic can handle Karakhanov from the baseline. I don't think that Karakhanov will like to go in long exchanges with Djokovic. So I think Karakhanov will try to pull the trigger and not go in long exchanges with Djokovic. He will try to serve big, like usual. For the underdog, which Karakhanov is in this case, he needs to serve big, he needs to hit big, and he needs to fight for every single ball. And he needs to keep his unforced error down if he wants to defeat Djokovic. And I don't think that Karakhanov will keep those unforced errors down. I think that Djokovic will squeeze a lot of unforced errors from Karakhanov's racket. So I have Djokovic winning this one. I believe Djokovic will win this one in straight sets. Alright, then we have the match of the day tomorrow. And that's why they have put that match on the night session between Carlos Alcaraz and Stefanos Tsitsipas. Stefanos Tsitsipas has never defeated Carlos Alcaraz. Carlos Alcaraz is 4-love in the head-to-head. So, even in this matchup, nothing is suggesting that Stefanos Tsitsipas will defeat Carlos Alcaraz. The numbers are not lying. And Carlos Alcaraz has been the man to beat since the beginning of this tournament. And he has really impressed, according to me. He has lost only one set in 4 matches. Against Taro Daniel in the second round. Then he dismissed Shapovalov in straight sets in third. Then he dismissed Lorenzo Musetti, a good clay court player, in the 4th round in straight sets as well. Tsitsipas, on the other hand, he has not been playing bad tennis. I believe he has lost only one set, if I'm not mistaken, in 4 matches. But now the big test comes from Tsitsipas. Now Tsitsipas will stand in for a big challenge. How will he handle Carlos Alcaraz firepower? How will he handle Carlos Alcaraz explosiveness? He is so explosive, Carlos Alcaraz. How will he handle Carlos Alcaraz baseline game? How will he handle Carlos Alcaraz net game? How will he handle Carlos Alcaraz drop shots? How will he handle Carlos Alcaraz speed? That is a big question. Stefanos Tsitsipas, he has some weapons, and the main weapons that Stefanos Tsitsipas has is forehand and serve. He really needs to land a lot of first serves. Exactly like Karakhanov also needs to do against Djokovic, because Stefanos Tsitsipas, according to me, is the underdog in this match. So he needs to land over 75% first serves in. He really needs to land a lot of first serves in, and then do damage immediately in the 3rd, 5th, and 7th shot. It is there Tsitsipas really can win the match if he lands over 75% first serves in, and then does damage immediately. And of course, majority of times when he does damage the Greek, he does it with his forehand. So if Tsitsipas doesn't land over, say, 65% first serves in, 65%, if he's under 65% in landing first serves, Tsitsipas will lose this match in straight sets. Yeah, you heard me right, in straight sets. But if he lands over, say, 70% first serves in, 70% first serves in, and then he will put himself in good position to do damage with his forehand, then he has a chance. I believe that. I don't think that Carlos Alcaraz will win this match easily, because I believe that Carlos Alcaraz will win this match. That is my feeling. I believe that because Carlos Alcaraz, man, he's so complete. Man, I don't know, when have we seen a young tennis player of this age, 20 years old, being this complete? Neither of Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal was this complete when they were 20 years old. They were not, especially not Nadal and Federer, especially not Federer. Federer's backhand was horrible as 20 years old. Horrible. His returns were horrible as well. they became better as older Federer become. They become better, the backhand and the returns. But when Federer was 20, his backhand and returns was horrible. Nadal, when he was 20, he was very complete, Nadal, but not as complete as Carlos Alcaraz. Nadal's backhand as 20 years old was not super great. It was not. Nadal's backhand become better with age. So Djokovic was, I must say, Djokovic as 20 years old, he was not bad. He was really good. He had backhand. His forehand was not maybe murderous good as 20 years old. His forehand became actually much better as older Novak became. His serve was pretty good as 20 years old. He was a speed demon as 20 years old, Djokovic. So Djokovic, he was maybe as good as Carlos Alcaraz as 20 years old, I must say. Maybe. But not Nadal and not Federer, especially not Federer. So what I want to say is that Carlos Alcaraz is so complete as 20 years old. So I don't know if I have seen a more complete 20 years old tennis player as I've seen in Carlos Alcaraz, really. So Tsitsipas has a huge mountain to climb here. So, but if Tsitsipas does those things good, serves over 75% serves in, at least he needs to be over 70% for serves in, and then does damage immediately with his forehand in the third, fifth, and seventh shot, then he has a big shot here. And then also take his chances. Like it is always important in tennis. In tennis, if you don't take your chances, you are toast. You just are toast. So Alcaraz, he just needs to play his game. He needs to stay focused, hit the ball big, both with forehand and backhand, especially with forehand, I mean. He needs to play good at the net like he has done in the entire tournament. Hit those great drop shots. Just hit his ground strokes really big and hard like he has done the entire tournament, Carlos Alcaraz. So, but I think that in the end of the day, Carlos Alcaraz, heavy ground strokes, heavy shots, great net game, good serving. His serve is not as good as Tsitsipas, I must say. It is probably only that the serve is the only thing that the Greek has better than Carlos. Other than that, I don't think that the Greek has anything else better than the Spanish superstar. So I believe that in the end of the day, Carlos Alcaraz consistency, his heaviness, his powerful shots, his hand skills, his net game, he will attack Stefan Tsitsipas backhand as much as possible, and I don't think that Stefan Tsitsipas will be able to protect his weak backhand as much as he needs to be able to win this match and just cross that finish line. But I think that Tsitsipas will give Carlos Alcaraz a run for his money. I think that Carlos will win this match in 4 sets. Alright. That was the Tuesday's quarterfinal matches. Then we have the Wednesday's quarterfinal matches. It is there one quarterfinal match that I will talk about now. I didn't expect any of these two players to make it to the quarterfinal. And it is between Alexander Zverev and Etcheverry, the Argentinian dude. Zverev, he's on the Sinner side, where I believe Sinner will make the quarterfinal, but Zverev did that instead. After playing some great tennis, to be quite honest, with heavy hitting, with big serving, especially first serves, and he has not done tremendously many double faults like he usually do. He has not done that in these 4 matches that he has won, so he has surprised me a little. I should have known better, to be quite honest. I should have mentioned Zverev on my top 8 favorite list, considering that at least I should have mentioned him as a dark horse. Because I didn't mention him even as a dark horse, because he's not super high ranked anymore. He's not even top 20 in the world ranking anymore. He's outside top 20 in the world ranking because he was injured, like we all remember, when he got himself injured in the last year's French Open, in his foot. So all credit to Zverev, he has done a great job. For me, when Medvedev lost in the first round, I don't know if you guys remember, I said that now I believe that the final on the bottom section of the draw will, one of the three players who will make the final, the bottom section of the draw, will be Ruud, Zverev, or Sinner. Sinner, he got knocked out in the second round. Ruud and Zverev are still alive to make that final on the bottom section of the draw. So Zverev against Ucheveri who took Medvedev's quarterfinal spot. Ucheveri didn't defeat Medvedev, but Ucheveri defeated Nishioka, and Nishioka defeated Medvedev's opponent who defeated Medvedev, which was Wilch. Nishioka defeated Wilch in 5 sets, and then Ucheveri defeated Nishioka then defeated Wilch, and then Ucheveri defeated Nishioka in the 4th round in 3 sets. The first set was pretty close, 7-6 for Ucheveri against Nishioka, 10-8 in the tiebreak, but then in the second and third round, Nishioka more or less he collapsed, both mentally and physically, and Ucheveri won the second and third set easy, 6-love and 6-1. He gave Nishioka both a bagel and a breadstick. Zverev and Ucheveri have never faced each other, so you don't know what to expect here. So I don't think that Zverev will have an easy time here. Ucheveri, he's a clay court specialist, and he has been playing. I've not seen his matches, but he has won his matches pretty comfortably. Really, Nishioka is not a bad tennis player. He really is not, and he gave Ucheveri a run for his money in the first set. Nishioka, he reminds me about a new version of Schwartzman. He doesn't have a big serve. He has a pretty weak serve, Nishioka, but he's solid from the baseline. He's a grinder. He makes you run for all the balls. He puts a lot of balls into the court. He doesn't usually defeat himself, Nishioka, even though that he really did that in the second and third round, in the second and third set. So, but Ucheveri took out Nishioka in straight sets without any kind of a trouble. So I don't think that Zverev will have an easy time here. I really don't think so. I think that this can be a 5-setter. That is my feeling. Maybe Zverev will blow him out of the court. Who knows? With big serving, big hitting. But I will have Zverev as a slight favorite here. As a slight favorite. I think Zverev will win this match in 5 sets. So Zverev makes it to the semifinal from the bottom section of the draw and beats Ucheveri, Tomas Ucheveri, and if I even am pronouncing his name right, in 5 sets. But I'm not sure about that one. I will be honest with you, my tennis fans all around the world. But because Zverev he's playing good tennis, but it's still Zverev. Alright? He has not been super great this year, Zverev, before French Open. Alright? And Ucheveri, he will like his chances. Ucheveri is a clay court specialist. Ucheveri is coming into this quarterfinal match against Zverev with good shape, good confidence. And Zverev has done a great French Open so far, but let's be honest, against Dimitrov in the 4th round, Dimitrov was a Santa Claus. Dimitrov did 50 unforced errors and only 14 winners. Dimitrov does 26 more unforced errors than winners. Not 26, even more. 36. Yes, 36 unforced errors Dimitrov does. 36 more unforced errors than winners Dimitrov does against Zverev. 14 winners from Dimitrov's racket and 50 unforced errors. Zverev, on the other hand, he did a solid match, but not a spectacular match. He did 27 unforced errors and 24 winners. So Zverev does 3 more unforced errors than winners. But the match against Grigor Dimitrov, he really more or less defeated himself. So Zverev will have a much tougher time against Tomas Ucheveri. So I believe Zverev will still in the end win, but it will be a hard match. I think Zverev wins in 5 sets. And then we have the last quarterfinal match, and that is the Scandinavian meeting between Casper Ruud and Holger Rune. Holger Rune, who won his match in the 4th round in 5 sets, defeated Sendurudulo, if I'm pronouncing his name right, from Argentina in 5 sets. After Holger Rune was 2-1 up in the lead, then Sendurudulo won the 4th set 6-1, and then in the 5th set they went toe-to-toe to a tiebreak. In that tiebreak, Holger Rune won 10-7. All credit to Holger Rune, who almost lost this 4th round like he did against Andre Rublev in the Australian Open in the 4th round earlier this year, where he was serving for the match against Andre Rublev, collapsed, choked, in the end lost that 5th set against Andre Rublev in that tiebreak. Here, this time around, he almost did the same thing, but he won that he had a chance to serve out the match against Sendurudulo in the 5th as well, in that 10th game, in that 5-4 game. He somehow choked. Sendurudulo broke him back to 5-all. Then Sendurudulo held his serve to 6-5. Then Holger Rune held his to 6-all. But then in the tiebreak, all credit to Holger Rune, who stayed composed, stayed focused, and was the more consistent one, and won that tiebreak 10-7. But I was not super impressed from Holger Rune. He did a lot of unforced errors. He did 73 unforced errors and 48 winners. He does 25 more unforced errors than winners. Sendurudulo, he does 53 unforced errors and 50 winners. So Sendurudulo, he does actually only 3 more unforced errors than winners. Actually, if you look at the stats, Sendurudulo was better than Holger Rune in all the stats. He won more points than his first serve. I believe he won. He lands more first serves in this than Holger Rune. He lands 66% first serves in. Holger Rune lands 59% first serves in. He wins more points behind his first serve, 67%. He wins points behind his first serve. Holger Rune won 66% of the points behind his first serve. He wins more points behind his second serve, 61%. So Sendurudulo. Holger Rune won 55% of the points behind his second serve. And like I said on the winner unforced error stat, Sendurudulo was better there as well. He broke serve more than 7 times, Sendurudulo. Holger Rune broke serve 4 times. He won more points in total than Holger Rune, Sendurudulo. He won 175 points. Holger Rune wins 164 points. So Sendurudulo wins 11 more points than Holger Rune in the total in the entire match. Even on serving and double fault department, Holger Rune was better. Sendurudulo was better. Sendurudulo did, I believe, 6 double faults and 5 aces. So 1 more double fault than ace. Holger Rune does 8 aces and 10 double faults. So you can see that in the entire stats, Sendurudulo was the better tennis player than Holger Rune. But Holger Rune in the end won the match. Because why? He won the more important points. That is all tennis is about. Win the important points, you win the tennis matches. You don't need to win more points than your opponent. We have seen in the entire match, we have seen Federer do that many times during his career, where he won more points than his opponent, but lost the match in the end. So I was not impressed from Holger Rune. Casper Ruud, on the other hand, I've been more impressed from him in his matches. Even against Jarry, a player he lost in Geneva a couple of weeks ago, he took him out in straight sets after heavy hitting, big serving. Casper Ruud, I believe that Casper Ruud did against Jarry 30 winners, 32 unforced errors, so he does only 2 more unforced errors than winners. Compare that with Holger Rune, who did 25 more unforced errors than winners against Sendurudulo. And Jarry is not a weak dude, especially in hitting. He hits the ball really big and really heavy. But Casper Ruud took him out in straight set. The head-to-head is 4-1 to Casper Ruud. The last match they faced each other was in Rome a couple of weeks ago. Holger Rune won that in 3 sets, in 3 close sets. Casper Ruud actually had the chance to win that match as well. he was a break up in the second set against Holger Rune in that Rome semi-final match. I have Casper Ruud winning this one. This is a new rematch from last year's quarterfinal match, because in French Open, because we all remember in last year they faced each other in quarterfinal as well at French Open. In that meeting 1 year ago, Casper Ruud won in 4 sets. I believe that Casper Ruud will do the same thing here and win in 4 sets against Holger Rune. So there you have my semi-final candidates. I believe Djokovic defeats Khachanov. I believe that Alcaraz defeats Tsitsipas. I believe that Zverev defeats Usheveri, and I believe that Casper Ruud defeats Holger Rune. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, see you next time. Peace!